All right, my students, so today we're going to focus on notes 8.7, and that is solve and graph inequalities. Now, I am going to give you about maybe 4 different examples, and then we are going to find a relationship to see if it is connected to things that we have learned in the past. Now, let's go ahead and begin. What if you have a problem, an inequality, and they tell you, let's go ahead and solve it. And they have x plus 7. And then you have your inequality right here. Okay? And you have 10. How can you solve this problem? Now you might be saying, I don't know. This is the first time I see this. But what if I change your perspective? I'm going to put this right here on the side. What if I give you the same problem, but I take away the inequality and I put my equal sign? We now have an equation. Are you able to solve this problem? Is this easier for you than solving this problem? If so, why? Why is this easier? Now, I hear some of you saying, well, because this one is a one-step equation. And we already know that to solve a one-step equation, we need to do the inverse operation. So you're trying to leave the x alone. So if you have plus 7 or positive 7, if you have the plus, you now know you need to minus it because that is the inverse operation. You minus 7. And remember, this here is on the other side of the equation. So what you do on one side, you also do on the other. Okay? Now we get to solve it. So we have x, we bring it down. But what is 7 minus 7? That's going to give you 0. And remember, due to the identity property, anything that is added with 0 is that number itself. So this crosses out, and now you have x all by itself. You bring your symbol down, which is equal. And now 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay, that's how we would solve this information. Now, guess what? You're going to do the same thing with this inequality. So you're trying to find out, hey, how do I solve this inequality? So you're going to leave this symbol just like it is, and you're going to put it in the middle. That means you have 2 problems, okay, 2 sides to work on. So if I have x plus 7, something plus 7 should be greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so if I have plus 7, the opposite would be minus 7. And what you do on one side, you do on the other, minus 7. Okay, then you go ahead and make your line so you could solve it. You now know that 7 minus 7, that cancels out. And you now have x on your own. You bring down your inequality. And remember, there's 2 inequalities here because you have greater than or equal to. And then you have 10 minus 7. 10 minus 7 equals to 3. Now notice, it's the same process. The only difference is your symbols. This one is equal to, but then this one is greater than or equal to. How do we solve this? We just did it. How do we graph? Well, remember to always do, and I'll put this on the side, always do your number line. Okay? And this is something we did last week, so you're putting all your information together. What is the number we are focusing on? It says 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw 3 on the side. So I know that's 3. So I have my 3. Boom. Now, what way is the arrow pointing to? It's going towards the right, and it says it should be greater than 3. So I am matching this to this. Boom. Okay. Since 3 is here, remember, I need to do my circle. I'm going to leave it open for right now because that is saying I have greater than. This is greater than. But notice I also have my equal to. So when it's equal, I'm going to shade it in. And now I'm going to connect my closed dot all the way to where my arrow is. That means all of this information here would be X. So that means 3 could be X. 4, 5, 6, all the other numbers. And if you want to make this easier, you could put 4, 5, and so on. So anything, any number that's on the right of 3 could be X. So yes, we're putting all of our information together as solving one-step equations and graphing. But now we're solving one-step inequalities and graphing them. Let me give you another example. X minus 3 less than 9. So again, I'm going to go ahead and separate these two because I need to solve both sides of my inequalities. If I have minus 3, the opposite is plus 3. What I do on one side, I do on the other, plus 3. Then I go ahead and make my little line. I know this is going to cross out because if I have minus 3 and then I gain 3, I get 0. So that crosses out. And now I have X due to the identity property. I can't put 0 here because X and 0 together, the answer will be X. My inequality, and then 9 plus 3, that would be 12. So that means X is, and I'm going to put it right here, less than. Remember, you could always write your little notes. I'm going to put it up a little bit. You could always put your little notes. That way you know, okay, X should be less than 12. Would this be true? I put my number line. And then I'm going to write anywhere here. I'm going to put 12, 13, and over here 11, 10, and so on. Okay, what is the number I need to circle? That will be 12. So I'm going to put it on the number line. I'm going to make the circle on the number line. Okay, what way is my arrow going to? My arrow or my inequality is facing to the left. So I'm going to match it, and that means it's this way, to the left. Now I'm going to connect my dot all the way to this side. That means all of this side, any number that's on the left would be X. Now, what is the difference? If I look at this one here, and I'm going to bubble it in with blue so you could see that it is a closed circle. This one is a closed circle. It's shaded in because it has an equal sign. Notice that this less than does not have an equal sign at the bottom. So therefore, I cannot bubble this in. Because if I bubble it in, that means that 12 is less than 12. Is that true? No. Okay. If you need to hit pause to review, go ahead and do so. If not, then I will continue. Now I'm going to show you example number 3. Now, example number 3 may look a little bit different, but it's absolutely the same process, okay? The only difference here is that the operation here is multiplication. Remember, when you have 5x, That means there is a little dot in the middle saying it's being multiplied. So if this is multiplication and we're trying to leave x by itself, all we need to do is divide. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to divide by 5 because we want to leave x by itself. So what we do on one side, we also do on the other. Okay, now what is 5 divided by 5? 1. So again, due to identity property, if 1 is with x, then it will be x by itself. So we have x. Then we bring down our inequality. 30 divided by 5, that's going to give you 6. That's it. There you go. Now, can we graph this? Of course we can. Here we go. Graph. I will go ahead and put 6 in the middle. And again, I'm going to put my numbers just so I could have an idea of what are next to them. You don't have to put all of them. And I'm going to circle. And since it's circled, that's because it is less than. It's less than, you know what? It's going to my left. So this one goes to my left. Okay. Guess what? It has an equal sign. So if it has an equal sign, I'm going to shade it in. It's a closed dot. And that means this closed dot goes all the way connected to this side. So x could be anywhere from 6 all the way to negative something. So we already did adding, subtracting, multiplying, and we're missing one more operation. Yes, that would be division. So let's go ahead and give you one last example. So if I have x divided by 8 greater than 3. How can I solve this? Well, if we remember with one-step equations, we need to find out what number is with x. Again, you're going to divide this in the middle if you need to. Okay. And let's look at this one. Where is x? Where's the variable? Right here. Okay. What number is with the variable? 8. So that means I'm going to multiply 8 by everything here. Okay? And what I do on one side, I'm also going to do on the other. So I have 3, and I'm going to multiply it by 8. Okay. Now, remember, if you have a whole number, all you need to do is put the denominator, and this crosses out. So when this cancels out, you now have x. X is greater than, what is 3 times 8? 3 times 8 is 24. This here would be your answer. Now let's go ahead and graph it. I make my number line. I'll put 24 right in the middle. I'll go ahead and put my numbers next to them just to find out and get that visual. And here we go. 24. I'll make a beautiful circle. Is there an equal sign? No. So I do not need to close the dot. What way is my arrow going? To the right. To the right. Now I need to just connect this from the outside of the circle all the way this way. That means my answer could be 25, 26, or to infinity and beyond. All right, so hopefully I was able to help you. Remember, you're putting all of your information together, all of your ideas together in order to solve this problem. Go ahead and keep up the good work, kiddos, and I will see you soon in class.